he's a phenomenal control player.
Maxwell was the first to derive the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, a statistical means of describing aspects of the kinetic theory of gases, which he worked on sporadically throughout his career.
Muted. Okay, we were muted, but we're not muted anymore. So, hello. We're here with Jendrek. Today we're gonna be waiting for the Banlist announcement.
Hello, Udaya.
We don't really have like too much planned right now to do, but are you guys hyped? I have a little bit of trouble speaking. My mouth is numb, not dumb too, because I went to a dentist today and it's still recovering. So I hope Jendrek is gonna save me right here. So
I will substitute canister dump mouth with my own dump mouth. It will be fine.
Yeah.
I see a question. Is Jendrek from Poznań? Yes, I am from Poznań. Just like canister.
No changes, out for cool new kind of packs. Let's go. That's a really funny comment, but it's not gonna happen.
I don't think it's really fun. I think it's
stream
incredibly funny.
Yeah, it's incredibly funny. Unfortunately, we know there's gonna be some changes. So I guess to kick off some cringe Pantak, what would you like to see change
Okay.
in the formats? Yeah.
So today
So I guess let's preface. We have confirmed changes in Modern and in Pioneer.
Yes.
And we know that
And they
Vintage,
confirmed,
Legacy,
yes, they confirmed they won't touch Vintage
Yeah.
and Legacy. Kamerę masz trochę blurred.
sobie jakoś. Więc
Jak ją zresetujesz, to wydaje mi się, że będzie spoko.
nie będzie.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, also Popper changes, that's like giga important.
They said there will be pauper changes?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I think Gavin Verhey said that, which is like,
Okay.
it's like his shtick saying things about Popper, so we might attack. So what would you like to see change, Jendrek?
Okay, so today I wrote an incredibly funny and long comment on our Polish Facebook group when I detailed a lovely phone conversation I've had with Maro today. He called me early in the morning. I was still sleeping. And he asked me what would I like to change in Modern because I owe to the last challenge, the last showcase, and he doesn't want such a miserable record from me ever again. And I said, if I was in the charge of Banlist, I would ban Fury, Grief, Solitude, and Leyline Binding. Why?
Wait, what? Say that again.
3 Mardu Elementals
And Leyline.
and Leyline Binding.
Okay.
Because I think that this way, like you can also ban Up the Beanstalk, but banning Up the Beanstalk is cringe as fuck, I think. And also I think Leyline Binding is just such a miserable card. I hate Leyline Binding so much because it's like it is either if you're playing against a deck that is not in a color combination that can answer enchantments easily, it's basically a 1 mana Vindicate on instant speed, or like Maelstrom Pulse, I guess, which is bullshit. But it's also so bad against like Boseiju and stuff, so it's miserable either way. And I really don't like the card. I don't like what it implies on format from like both ends, both from people who have to play, like how you have to skew your mana base to play it, and how you have to like skew from the opposing side and try to beat it. I think it's just too efficient and too versatile of a card to have, like, say, too versatile of a removal spell, I think.
So I guess I see that. If the question posed would be, is Leyline Binding kind of cringe? I can agree with that very easily.
Yes.
Like I can see.
I'm not saying what I think will happen because I don't think they will ban 4 cards, but what I would like to happen.
Yeah, I guess that was my follow-up question. What odds do you think of your dream announcement happening?
Kind of low. Definitely, like, I don't know, at most like 10-ish%, maybe. 10 is like
10%.
I think that's the most I can give it. Probably like lower than that.
I would say like the odds of the modern announcement looking like you described.
Okay, then it's probably like 2.
Probably.
Oh yeah, it's more probably like 1% or something. But like, I think it's like 5 to 10% they will ban 3 Mardu Elementals.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Solitude is also like super lame in general. I don't like the effect of Solitude. I was thinking recently whether Swords to Plowshares or Solitude would be more like disruptive for Modern.
Mm-hmm.
And it might still be Swords to Plowshares, but this question being that close is still like, I think, not in favor of Solitude remaining legal. Yeah, Solitude is fine if Beans gets hammered, but Beans are fine if Solitude gets hammered. And Solitude also does a lot of different stupid shit that I don't like.
Well, it does seem like the 0 cost cards are typically found where trouble is found, be it with alongside Beans or the Ring or like anything.
Yeah, it basically Solitude subsidizes so much of a Ring's power as well in like mid-range decks. I don't think that like multicolor white-based ring decks are that good if Solitude gets banned. I think like blue-white-ish decks are straight up unplayable in its current form. You have to change it a lot. And you are probably more into like blue-black with Shield Red and stuff. Like maybe 4-color with Omnath is still enough, but I don't
He's
know.
a phenomenal
Like
control
Solitude
player.
being both a 0-mana way to convert your card into tempo and a way to stabilize your life total is just a perfect card for the ring. So,
Okay. So like during the stream, right, we kind of had a soft confirmation or maybe like just a heavy hint at the fact that Fury is the card they're going to choose to ban, but
Yep.
they also, I think, heavily implied that it is not going to be the entire,
the only change, yeah.
the only change. That there's going to be something else on top of that. So.
Yeah. Like if they only changed Fury, I would be very disappointed. I think that would be an incredibly short-sighted and very surface level ban.
Which one again?
Fury. If they just
Fury. Yeah.
if they just ban Fury, because like it's not every Beanstalk list play Fury, even if they could.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's damage. If they really are concerned about Beanstalk being a problem, I don't think this is enough to like alleviate those concerns for them. Also, like this is something like if people still try no Fury scam, which I don't think will be very good.
Seems pretty hard to me to feasibly put the Undying Tricks into your deck if you just have 4 Griefs.
Yeah, but maybe if you have 4 Griefs and 4 Fables, and some of your tricks are Malakir Rebirths, maybe you can like play it. And even then, even if scam becomes not a 20% dead.
O ty kurwa, widzisz tego? Asmodeus, can we
O,
get a ban
cześć,
on
Alan.
Amulet?
Bardzo fajnie.
No.
Bardzo fajnie.
Well, hopefully not. Although, I mean, some Redditors probably really want to see the One Ring ban, which would be a nerf to Amulet, and like is within the realm of plausibility.
Yeah.
I guess more so than some of the other takes, like
I think
Leyline Binding.
Yeah, definitely. I think binding would be a better change, but also a much more unlikely change. I think that they said on the stream that the like marketing concerns and like what packs are currently in rotation in stores doesn't influence their banning process at all. That's what they said. And I think I believe them. They banned Omnath like week after it was released in standard or something like that. They banned Oko
a few weeks, but yeah, like very shortly.
Yeah, they banned Oko very, very shortly in multiple formats as well. So like I do think that it's in their range. I don't think that the argument of we can't ban this mythic from the newest set for the 2 years. I don't think that's true. I think that's something that people on the internet just came up with, and I don't think that's how it works. But going back to Grief and Scam and Fury, I think it's still plausible to have a weaker version of Scam that plays only Grief and maybe a little less tricks. But even if that deck becomes like a 2% deck instead of 20% deck, I think people will still be miserable over getting double Grief on turn 1, and people will still be unhappy because that's the thing that most people complain about. Double Grief on turn 1. Nobody really complains about double Fury on turn 1. I even saw a argument from Ari Lux that double Fury on turn 1 is actually beneficial for the health of the format.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty. Like you spend 3 cards to make a monster, then if it gets answered, you lose the game. Like it's probably like it's not powerful enough to be like an issue. I guess if like the Fury happens later and you happen to have 8 points of power and toughness on the battlefield, then maybe that's a bit more of an issue. But I think that's mostly fine.
Hello, Harold.
But I guess one more like option to happen is for cards to be unbanned.
Sure, yeah. They said that they won't be unbanning cards if they are like concerned with any risk it might create. I don't think we'll have an unban today, but there are definitely cards they can unban, I think. I think that there are...
Let's just go through the list.
Sure.
Then. Ancient Den.
Whatever.
Arcum's Astrolabe.
I think Arkham... That one is actually something we can talk about a bit more, because I think Arkham Astrolabe not only can, but also should be unbanned. I think that Arkham Astrolabe subsidize a class of decks that is currently very weak, which is like artifact, small game object thingies. And
what does that mean?
Like things like Urza and stuff like that. Like Arkham Astrolabe would be a boon to those decks, and also give you an alternative way of building multicolor decks, because you can't play... Well, of course you can play Triumphs and Astrolabe at the same time, but it's not a combo. Astrolabe is effectively a tap land, Triumphs are tap lands, and your mana base is too good and too slow at the same time if you do that. Also, Astrolabe doesn't work with binding, and Astrolabe like makes those like 2.5 color decks a bit better. Like if you want to splash like a sideboard card off of one Shockland and Astrolabe, I would really like to see Astrolabe back. I think it's a cool card. Maybe it also opens counterplay to Leyline Binding, which is a card I once again hated. And I
guess literally is in the format already, right? For the most part.
Yeah, but it's green.
Yeah, but that is what your arguments are fairly.
Yeah, it's like
convincing to me.
Yeah, it's like blue-black. Imagine blue-black Ring or like blue-white Controller or some other two-color blue deck that splashes Blood Moon to dunk on Leyline Binding.
Yeah, but also John Staros mentions in the chat that it was banned because of Mox Opal. Is it true? Was the timeline like that?
I think it was banned after Opal.
Okay, so...
It was banned after Opal. It was... I think it was banned because of Sanctuary more than anything. No, it was banned. It was banned after Opal. Opal was January 2020. Then Astrolabe was July 2020, and then Sanctuary was 2021 with like Arrow and stuff. So I like Astrolabe is also a card that wasn't problematic at all before we got like Sanctuary and stuff like that. The Sanctuary and like Oko and Uro. The problem was that Astrolabe was just bullshit with Sanctuary, because you could have played like basically a mono blue deck that splashes everything you want and have this super powerful land.
Uro.
And also like Uro. Ja pierdolę.
They don't even have the image, so that kind of ruined the joke. At least it says it right here.
Yep. So I think Astrolabe would actually be something I would unban myself.
Okay.
Birthing Pod is too strong.
Birthing Pod is too strong, you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think Birthing Pod is too strong.
Let me read Birthing Pod, because at this point, I don't actually remember what it does. 3 and a Phyrexian green. 1 Phyrexian green tap, sack a creature, search your library for a creature card with CMC equal to 1 plus the mana cost, put on the battlefield, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. Damn.
Yeah. It is a deterministic turn 3 kill if you have a Dork, Pod, and 3 lands. And that's like the actual, like that's the floor. The floor is just, you play Dork on 1, you play Pod on 2, and on 3 you kill your opponent. That's it.
Is that bad?
I think it's too good, yes.
Okay.
If your deck also can be like Omnath, if they don't ban like Solitude, Omnath, kind of mid-rangey deck that can go over the top.
You need to untap with it, right? So you go like 8 mana dork.
Yeah,
then
you have to
Gathering Pod?
untap with it.
Okay.
But also you can go like you can play Pod on 2, they kill your dork, and then on 3 you can like play a 2-drop with some die when it dies effect, sack it, get something good, and just start churning through your deck, getting like Omnaths, Solitudes. Those value cards are so much better than Siege Rhino was when Pod was banned.
What about drawing Corridor Monitor every other draw step?
Yeah, that's obviously an issue, but I think you can make your combo somewhat compact. That those issues won't happen all that often. Plus, most of your combo pieces, you already have like mana dorks, and usually when you draw your combo piece in Pod, you can just save some Pod activations in your chain, so you're basically mana neutral on them. I think Pod is too strong.
I think it doesn't necessarily have to be, but I also have no idea. Blazing Shoal?
I think Blazing Shoal is in a category of it will be unplayable basically.
Yeah.
So kinda whatever. It's basically whether you want to unban all those Blazing Shoals and Seeding Songs of the world that Sodek so desperately needs to find happiness once again. And I don't think that like it doesn't matter to me. They can be unbanned, they cannot be they can stay banned, whatever.
I think objectively the card is pretty shit.
It is bad, but it also doesn't bring anything to the format, so it's like, why would you bother with it?
Bridge from Below. I guess maybe it's time for me to showcase an item I have in my room that the viewers didn't get to see much. Oj, kurwa, nie zejdzie.
There will be no showcasing. There will be no showcasing, widzowie.
Yeah.
There is a frame with banned cards there.
Yeah, I have a frame, IKEA frame with a playset of Summer Bloom, Kralklan Ironworks, Bridge from Below, and Hogak on my wall, which I don't remember how did I mount it on my wall, but not in a way that easily comes off, so I guess I can show you like that.
Yep. Yeah, Bridge is basically like all those cards are basically cards that I would say like Bridge is same as Shoal. Well, it's a bit different because Bridge is either unplayable or busted in a very toxic way, in my opinion. But also, all those cards are cards that I think are not like if you take into the account that the team that's responsible for banning and restricted announcements, they have limited time and resources to put into unbanning cards. I don't think it's worth to put time into figuring out whether these cards are definitely safe.
But
I think the payoff is just too
think
small.
about it. You play Bridge from Below and you invoke a Fury, and you get a zombie.
Okay.
Well, if your opponent evokes a Fury, I guess you lose your bridge.
Yeah.
So, given that
Yeah.
Fury is likely gone, that's also
That's a good suggestion from Flex that you can just find band dwukropek modern in Scryfall and you will see all the banned cards.
Chromox.
I don't think it's too weak. Definitely, I think it will be played. It probably would be a bit too warping, I would say. We played Chromox with Sodek a bit. Like 2 years back, I think we built like it was pre-Erzas Saga. I think it was pre-Erzas Saga. Definitely Chromox with Erzas Saga is a bit too strong. And those decks were just too polarizing, I think. They were obviously built because like people say, oh, but in what deck would you slot Chrome Mox? Well, basically, if you build your deck with Chrome Mox in mind, it will just look differently,
I
right?
guess you'd play like you dump into the One Ring with it or something. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty strong.
Yeah, you ramp into One Ring. Your control decks is like, oh, you're on the draw and you play your 1-drop? Well, on turn 2 I will play my Teferi Time Raveler, bounce your 1-drop, and you will never do anything in this game because on turn 3 I will play One Ring. Plus you have all the Saga bullshit. I think...
Oops, all spells, Belcher. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, it's more Chromox.
Yeah, Chrome Mox is too strong.
A bit stupid.
Cloud was obviously too strong as well. I don't think there's any discussion there.
Dunk Depths.
I think Dark Depths is too strong as well.
A reminder that when I held the No Banlist Modern tournament, Dark Depths came on top and was after MH2 already, so I guess like
Yeah.
like I don't see like a reason as to what else would like overtake Dark Depths. Really? Deprive? Did you play Deprive in that tournament?
I played Deprive in that tournament, yes, and I was proud of that.
The key. Deathright Shaman, worse than Ragavan, but also doesn't matter.
Better than Ragavan, so you should keep it banned. This is the discussion we've been having with
Let's make a
Canister
poll.
for the
Let's
last
make a poll in the chat.
for the last like 2 years.
New poll.
Whether
Let's go like 2 minutes. What's stronger? We can talk.
Yeah, so basically I usually when we talk about it, I start to get mad and say that Canister is a lacks any respect for cards that are older than his Magic career and stuff like that.
Oh no, I played.
Oh, I know you played
roughly
it.
when
I know you
it
played
was
that
released.
card, and I know all of that. But I think that Channeler is, especially in a post Bowmaster's world, is definitely better. Or Shaman, not Channeler. Shaman, especially in post Bowmaster's world, is definitely better than Ragavan in Modern. It would also make those like... It will make Black even stronger and Bowmasters even stronger. Probably make Yawgmoth maybe a bit too good. I don't know. I don't think that Shaman is what you want. I think it's too strong.
Dig Through Time,
Dig for Time is too strong.
Dread Return.
Probably right in the
He's a phenomenal
the right overlap
control
between
player.
probably too strong and definitely too stupid. You'll just see some degenerate bullshit that has a good amount of chance of being too good.
I think I have all spells built, and it's just probably lets me cut like 12 cards.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
If I get ready,
You-
then
you-
I can add Podzizes and
Yeah, you can
more
basically
mana,
make this deck
Pact of Negation.
exactly into an actual like Doomsday-ish style of deck when you play Disruption and one card combo. Not something you want. You don't play Vengevine, you don't play Creeping Chill, you don't play fucking Sword of the Mix.
Probably can skip Jack-o'-lantern then,
Yeah.
so Creeping Chill. So yeah, you get to
Yeah, and Sword.
skip like 13 cards.
So 16 cards. Actual 16 cards.
Well, you have to play the Dread Return and 4 Narcomoebas, I
Sure.
think. So like, I guess you get to cut 12 cards, maybe like a bit more, maybe a bit less. Seems like DRS is stronger, but also so many Dynamos contributed 6,411 channel points. So poll was rigged and doesn't actually even necessarily reflect the
Reflects everything that
like
needs to be reflected.
true feelings of the chat.
Okay,
Eye of Eugene.
it's too strong.
It's pretty shitty and no Banlist Modern for what it's worth. It's like surprisingly lame.
Yeah, also, I don't know if you saw that.
Also, it's like Eldrazi's.
Did you
legacy
see?
deck now?
Yeah, did you see Card Market series of
I don't know.
like best decks in Modern? They had their viewers to vote for the best deck from each year from 2011 to 2023. And then they put like a Swiss. They played Swiss tournament. Then they put a top 8 bracket, and then they played those decks through it. And do you think you can guess what won the tournament?
Eldrazi's.
No, but Eldrazi's were in the finals.
Hogak.
Cloudpost.
Cloudburst.
Yep.
Cloudless seems good against all the Azis.
Hogak gets absolutely smashed by Scam and top 8. Absolutely just smashed. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Dotty Voidwalker. Good luck.
Yeah. I think like Hogak is not even necessarily like all that great.
Yeah.
I think like you can see that in Legacy where like the 8/8 can be answered pretty easily, and then it's just not really a deck despite like having all the cards.
Yeah, I think Iohugin is definitely too strong, and also gives Tron and other like big mana decks this inevitability that I don't think you want in those decks.
Legacia's Caracas though, like as if that mattered, as if it was because of Caracas. Like what is Caracas, like the 50th most played card in Legacy? It's not even worth checking.
Okay.
Faithless Looting.
I think Faithless Looting is pretty base. I think there are significant risks, but also significant rewards that come with Faithless Looting, and I would be on board with unbanning it. But also, I think it's a good spot to point out that I am in favor of pretty aggressive management of ban list. I would like to see like cards getting unbanned more liberally and then getting banned if they are too strong, like rebanned, which is something they told in the video on Weekly MTG last week that they don't want to do. So I don't have high hopes of those things happening. Okay, next we have Field of the Death, which isn't gonna happen. And G-Pro.
I think Faithless Looting would be base, Giga base, because then Dredge would be probably much better. And that could be a deck, and then we would have a nice meta game where Dredge hoses Ragavans, and I get to play Titan and hose Dredge. And
after thinking about it, I would really like to see Faithless Looting unbanned, because then Dredge would be based, and Sodek will earn me a lot of money.
Okay.
with his Dredge guide. So sure, just unban Faithless Looting.
Field of the Dead.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Gitaxian Probe.
Gitaxian Probe, not gonna happen.
Glimpse of Nature.
I would like to see Glimpse. It'd probably be very little playable.
Probably.
That's not how we say that, but yeah, it wouldn't be very playable.
Yeah, you don't have much like fast mana. Like, bro, but what if you played in Yawgmoth? You're gonna like draw 2 cards for 1 mana. Sometimes sounds sick.
What if you play it in what's the shitty deck that you like? Song of Creation. And then you draw from Endurance even more.
Unfortunately, I kinda soft banned Song of Creation myself by overseeing Orcish Bowmasters in a way, so Golgari Grave Troll.
Not gonna happen.
But it's base.
I mean,
they literally like sold out Golgari Grave, and they said
ban, unban, reban would be a bit too much.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Glimpse would be broken with Incarnations.
Nah.
Well, yeah, for sure, bro. It's like
it doesn't
for sure makes like it's a deck that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a cantrip with Incarnations.
Bro, but like Shoulder is a creature. It draws a card and you gain 2 life. No, you don't even gain 2 life with Shoulder. Okay. But what if you like?
Oh, that's a
glimpse
interesting.
What if you Glimpse of Nature with a Stinkweed Imp in the graveyard?
Dobra,
and then you play a Mem Knight.
There is an actually interesting question from Terry Bat in chat. Should they unban exactly 1 artifact land? I can see the merits of that. That sounds okay to me. And you basically then roll a 4-sided die and unban any non-blue one. I guess any non-white one.
Just go like full on random. It's
full on random as well.
Doesn't matter.
White one might be a bit too good in Hammer maybe as well. But jammed ones are kind of whatever.
No, it's like not too good. It's
no, bro.
It's a land with such obvious high costs that you're paying to include in your deck, and you gain some benefits too. But
sure, but
those cards being banned is cringe.
Yeah. Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, I think Green Sun is good if you ban Dryad. I think Green Sun with Dryad is a bit too strong in a very similar way to how Shaman was good.
He's a
It's like a
phenomenal
split cut of mana
control
dork
player.
and an actual threat in
You've
the late
never
game,
been banned in
which I think
my
is a bit
heart.
too strong. But I can see getting Green Sun unbanned anyways. Probably not now with like how good Yawgmoth is, but you can't fetch Yawgmoth with Green Sun because it only searches for a green creature, which is definitely a big blow for Yawgmoth's ability to play this card to like its full potential, but still. Yeah, Green Sun for Titan is basically like you get Dryad Arbor early, you get Titan later.
Bro, I would not even play it.
You would play it.
I would try it, but I probably would cut it.
That basically inclines playing it.
Okay.
That implies you will be playing it. Yeah.
Hogak, Arisen, Necropolis.
Whatever.
Yeah. Hypergenesis. At some point I did a few streams with Mengu where we played banned decks against like a gauntlet of tier 1 modern decks, and it was unbelievable how bad Hypergenesis was.
Hypergenesis is worse than Glimpse of Tomorrow, and that card is already like kind of bad.
Yeah, it's not particularly good either. It's also stupid, and they don't like stupid for some reason. I do like stupid. I do like stupid and Magic.
That's why we would like to unban KCI.
KCI is just like, it's just sad, not stupid. But I guess the rules interaction with Mare, Retriever, Scrapcrawler, it was pretty stupid.
But also,
and it did always feel like you were sitting in front of like a clueless child, and you were just outright lying to them, and you were saying, "Yeah, now I'll do this."
Yeah, but it was also gave this certain amount of novelty to the format that I enjoyed.
Oh, I got excited because it loaded for a tiny bit longer, but
okay.
Lurus of the Dream Den.
Lurus is still, even with the companion errata, is probably like a top 10 card ever printed. Oh, if you include power, then maybe like top 15. Lurus without errata was the strongest card ever printed in Magic. Stronger than Lotus, Ancestral, and Time Walk, I think. I don't think Lurus is gonna happen.
Mental Misstep.
Mental Misstep dumb shit.
Is stupid, but it's also not even funny stupid stuff.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
Mox Opalos. Damn. This one.
I would like to see Mox Opal unbanned.
Yeah.
I think that, like, ever since Mox was... Well, there is an argument of too strong with Saga.
No.
But
seen the shit they print. Seen this.
It was legal when Opal was banned.
But not with Saga. Were you even on the receiving end of that? Oh shit. Standard, no changes.
Up the beanstalk.
Karn, Appraiser, Copter is actually unbanned. Alright, so they banned Karn, which is cringe.
Which is
Modern, Fury, Up the Beanstalk.
Okay, so they did the cringe thing of banning Up the Beanstalk. But it's okay.
That's weird.
That's cringe, but it's also...
Also, not to forget the rest of the bans. Karn and Appraiser banned in Explorer.
And Monastery
Swiss Spear is banned in Pauper.
I bet Vita will be...
I like how you hover over this and it has a silver...
Yes, uncommon symbol. Yeah. So I guess we didn't touch on Pioneer before because we were just too busy talking about Modern. What my ideal ban announcement for Pioneer was ban Karn, ban Appraiser. I don't know if ban something from the other Cascade deck. I haven't seen that deck in action too much, so I had no actual data to base my opinion on anything. The Quintorius Kant deck.
I think the Quintorius Kant deck felt pretty shit.
Okay.
From what I played, and it also seemed to perform pretty shittily, and the RCs that it played, 30 something's win rate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For what it's worth, this also didn't feel particularly a great deck, but it was stupid. And...
But they said they want to ban it.
Yeah.
So my change would be Karn and Appraiser, and Quintorizu was like a maybe if I see more of it, and Determinate was too good. And of course, unbanning would be Inverter of Truths, but
I have to say that like the Karn ban is cringe, but also like there's few cards that infuriate me more often. Well, okay, there's plenty of cards that infuriate me nowadays, but
I think
there is
Karn is dumb as fuck.
yeah, there is like few cards that infuriate me more than Karn does when he hoses my artifact decks randomly. So
That's a good point. Copter not unbanned Explorer.
okay.
Which is very weird because they said that they want to mimic Pioneer as closely as possible in Explorer.
I think Dan just like, went.
Maybe they
selected
just copy pasted wrong,
country,
yeah.
right? And it's like, oh shit. I guess
I think
No
Copter
Copter.
is on Arena, or maybe it's not.
I don't know.
Kaladesh is, but they may be.
I guess it's not an arena since it's not.
Okay, sure.
Fair. But wow, Smuggler's Copter. That's also that fits. I will need to think about it. Like,
Yeah.
how many decks does it fit into?
I've heard the recurring argument on like Twitter and stuff about people saying no, they can't unban Copter with Phoenix being so popular.
That does not sound
It's like an
a-
argument that you would actually play Copter in Phoenix,
Yeah, well,
which sounds
it's
super terrible to me.
that assuredly is a red black midrange card, which
Yeah.
at least I think so. But
It is.
especially now that there is no random cards to punish you for playing vehicles, it's just like a card that has to be dealt with normally, and there is no chance that your opponent will randomly turn it off.
Yeah, it's
by
basically
playing Planeswalker.
what they wanted Bankbuster to be all along.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh yeah, Greasefang.
Greasefang.
That sound pretty good for Greasefang.
so good for Phoenix as well. It's good
Well,
for Greasefang.
No, it's like a stronger Greasefang deck now. So
Yes, but Phoenix still will it's like Copter is still bad to the same thing that Greasefang was bad to against Phoenix anyways. Like it's still the same.
Mhm.
I will trade my Fire Impulses and my Lightning Access for your cardboard. That matters. Like it's definitely a boost to a deck, but
That said, like the cringe thing about the Karn ban is that it partially is, at least partially, this caving to online complaining. I feel like, given that these decks results seem to be pretty consistently mediocre, and every RC not a great win rate.
yeah, it's basically when they were talking about Pioneer on the stream, they said that they want in general for formats to be fun to people, and they said that some things are not fun, and they specifically mentioned playing one card on turn 3 and winning, which they hinted at Appraiser, and having a perfect sideboard card at every single moment, which they hinted at Karn, which I think is a good argument.
Okay, let me also address this one Twitch chatter. How about the potential of Karn? This is something that I hate hearing. The argument that Karn only gets better because new artifacts get released, which also is just not true, because all like new cards, yes, get released, but also cards that can happen to be stronger than, like, strong enough to push out like a 4-mana
Yes.
draw spell sorcery
Yes, definitely.
card.
It's,
Right.
it's probably better to say that Karn gets more dangerous than, because it's not like strict. It's not just better, like you said. Maybe something will get printed that changes the metagame in a way that Karn becomes shitty.
Mhm.
But there's a danger of like Karn put this like same as Pot. It basically puts this kind of restraint on deck design or card design, I think, in a way that every time they want to print an artifact and they have to think about it, will it be too good with Karn? And they actually have to balance around it as well.
I mean, I don't know. It just draws you cards, so like they are good. They're gonna be good.
Sure, but
without
it's a
card.
demonic tutor at some point. It's
Okay.
it's not a drug. It's like saying it's just a cantrip. No, it's just a demonic tutor. At some point, right? If you have a broad enough spectrum of artifacts in your sideboard, it's just a demonic tutor.
But like they have to balance every card they release.
Yes, of course, but like this puts a damper on every single artifact they print.
Nonetheless, I do think it's a weak argument.
Also, the card is bullshit as fuck.
Yeah.
If I was to change something from Monogreen, I would ban Kiora because I fucking hate Kiora. But Karn is okay. It's a more reasonable ban than Kiora.
It's interesting if like a green devotion deck is still like Niktos still is good, but probably more of an like
It's more of a like rampy beatdown deck, maybe.
aggressive angle, maybe like with all out BT, maybe something else. There's like there was like a potential mono green devotion card every other set, but like the deck was just kind of built already and they weren't particularly better than existing options.
Maybe it's more of a like Troll, Poruchanos, Ulvenwald Oddity, like a beatdown kind of deck. I think that I saw like people playing that kind of cards.
What do you like if they erratat Karn? Gonna describe the way I imagine it in the moment. Instead of banning it, if the passive said activate abilities of artifacts you control can be activated, and remove the ability to grab artifacts from exile just outside the game from the sideboard.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
So it's still not a symmetrical card, but it's bad for you, right? Or is it just on a silence?
No. Activate abilities of
Of
artifacts
you control. Okay, so it's a drawback.
Yeah.
It probably would be unplayable.
Okay, so let's just say no passive at all, and you can grab exiled cards, so you can't actually like combo loop Stonebrain or.
I think it's still too strong. If you like, there is a good reason for them to not print as many wishes anymore. Cards that work like wishes used to. Like the only new card that works that way, like an actual card named Wish. Like there is a restriction on it, right? You can just play it this turn. You can like you can't go.
I thought they print plenty of that, like Mastermind's Acquisition, Granted, Wish, Karn.
Sure, I guess so.
I know some like random cards that you.
But maybe the raid is too bad for those just because of that.
It's just not that strong of an effect. You pay like 4 mana to tutor a card, right? So it's like this card's particularly good? No, it's not. In fact, it's very weak.
Yeah, it's probably more of a raid problem. Karn is just too good of a raid. It's still a planeswalker, right?
That said, Appraiser, whatever, Quintorius Khan being left. Oh, fine. Maybe they just wrote something so we can read that. Okay, we're gonna read that in a moment. So Popper, I don't care. Explorer, I don't care. Modern. Fury, hinted at, is banned, and Up the Beanstalk is banned.
I'm okay with those changes.
I was thinking that it's like arguably like the Up the Beanstalk deck is not really better than the Wandering for color version of the deck, right?
Yeah, it's more polarizing.
Like from especially like after Up the Beanstalk versions became popular, and I kind of started to building my decks to like approach the Beans build, and then like every now and then I just run into somebody still playing Red and 6, Poseidon and One Ring, and it sometimes posed like great problems to me and felt like an overall more powerful deck at times. So it's kind of like this feels kind of random to me, weirdly, but maybe they had access to something to make them believe that Beanstalk decks were actually like better than that. And I guess like just structurally you need to like invest more into deploying the ring than just
also the gameplay of Beanstalk wasn't very compelling, I think. It was basically like you just cascade into those beanstalks or play those beanstalks, and then once you have 1 or 2 copies in the battlefield, which wasn't super hard to get, the game just became so weird because you never are getting without any resources, and like I don't like that Commandeer is a card that actually gets played. Like I
Sure.
don't think effects like that should be playable. Like
Okay.
for
Yeah,
zero
but
mana.
the One Ring does the same thing to games. You like draw cards, pitch, draw cards, pitch. You have 10,000 cards.
Sure, but One Ring is I think easier to stop. Like it, I think it's easier to stop basically
Okay.
because it's 4 mana. Because you just like if you want to stop up the beanstalk from resolving and when you are on the draw, like you just have to fill your deck with cards like if you ever can stop it from resolving, you have to fill your deck with cards like Spell Pierce or like Spell Snare and stuff like that, which you can't really do. And there are so many ways of like, or even your opponent plays One Ring, they tap it to draw a card. If you have an instant speed response to Ring, you just trade it 2 mana for 4 mana on card parity. If you have a response to Bins, you trade 2 mana for 2 mana and you are at card disadvantage.
Right. The actual reason why I'm saying all of that is because all I've been playing lately is Amulet that cannot kill the One Ring anyway. So
Sure.
to me, it feels the same.
Sure.
But it may be even worse. The Ring feels a bit worse for Amulet. So yeah, I mean, that's fine. But it's also like I don't know if I care that it's banned versus not it being not banned. We'll see.
I like that it's banned. I lost my two last. I think I lost my last 2 matches against Beanstalk, and I was mad at them for like always having commandeer or like 2 commandeers, and a like 5-turn game or something like that. And I was like, nah.
So yeah,
We good.
It's pretty hard to build a scam deck in the same vein that makes sense, and that's my gut reaction at least. That it's really hard to have Undying Evil in your deck. So I guess it does probably make Grief a bit shitty, although we'll see. Maybe it's still justifiable to play it in some way, as you said, with Malakari Bear.
Yeah, and I also think that Fable of the Mirror Breaker will just give you a lot of heavy lifting at like discarding those pitch spells. I think you may be underestimating the ability of Fable to sift those out of your hand.
Yeah, I might be.
Yeah, maybe you'll also play like more looting effects. Like there are other cards that you may play that like just require you to have this cardboard either to ditch or to convert. Like I don't know, even cards like Liliana. Liliana is probably too weak on raid for modern. Liliana of the Veil, but it's like a way of like ditch cards.
Happiness LTD in the chat wonders if Scam just plays more moons and looting or something. So I have bad news for Happiness LTD.
Maybe looting. They meant looting, not faithless looting, but looting effects in general. Like
okay. Remember Black White Scam?
Yeah, it was shitty as fuck.
It was very shitty. Yeah, turned out that it was never particularly good for some reason. Some reason being the fact that just somehow casting Undying Evil on Grief seems better than casting Ephemerate on it.
Yeah.
You end up trading like for less cards, but the damage, there's just so much more damage, right? You skip an extra attack, then you deal 3 per turn, so like you deal 3 damage, but you would have dealt 8 damage with.
Yeah, so you actually are not up on cards in this exchange. You are down because if you put a counter on your Grief and you start attacking them, they will see 2 less draw steps.
Okay.
So they actually...
Or in other ways, you have discarded a 0 mana lightning axe, lava axe.
Yeah, it's basically... That's also what Arilax said in the recent podcast that makes a lot of sense to me, that it just... Grief with Ephemerate kills you on, turn 8, I think? Yeah. You play it on 1, you blink on 2, and you start attacking on 3. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's 18 damage, so they fetch that's lethal. But if you Grief on 1, you start attacking on 2, it's like 2, 3, 4, 5. And on turn 5, they have 4 life, and on turn 6, they're actually dead.
Okay. So, importantly, I have already prepared a amulet deck list for roughly this announcement, and it's optimized for the new meta.
Oh, it's absolutely the same as your last list.
Exactly the same, but I cut the cyborg dismembers which I figured today I probably would do anyways, even with Scam
Stone
80
of
format.
Error.
Stone of Orange to stop Yogmo from ever doing anything to Curse Totems because it works for sure, and defense grids, explosives, I get to fit lots of sideboard cards because I don't have to play the shitty dismembers anymore.
There
I'm playing
there are
Spelunking
2 Spelunkings.
in my
2
sideboard.
Spelunkas. Okay.
I've seen another streamer play this
Mono
mono black Scam rack deck to pretty good
That
results.
doesn't sound very good.
This sounds like a Rickroll link.
That doesn't sound very good.
It does look kind of like my Reanimator deck post-board, so yeah.
O, Wrench Mind. Wręcz przeciwnie.
Wrench Mind. We have a lot to discuss today, but before diving into each of the formats, we'd like to provide a bit of clarity to our announcement dates and windows. We'll be operating with a slightly more flexible announcement cadence.
There is a question in chat from Ardos. When stream ends? Kurwa, przyjdź, to się skończy.
Chodź już, pije. Future ban and restricted announcement will occur 2 to 5 weeks after each set's release. 2 to 5 weeks. This allows, this is like they happened so far because they actually didn't stick to like the first cadence, but it's official now. Capture data from large events like Pro Tours while ensuring we make sure blah blah blah. Clear picture of each format before you start evaluating and collecting casual index. The word collecting is funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Not buying or
Not buying,
like
no,
doing
no.
collecting. And they were
Collecting.
very precise with saying collecting multiple times in the stream, and it was very funny to me.
Collecting. So we have a window following each main set release. Blah blah blah. Changes to Pioneer Legacy increment during any main set release window. The next such window will be around March 11 following the release of Murders of Karlov Manor. So 11, that's after the PT. Okay.
Yes, it's like 3 weeks after the PT or
Yeah.
2 weeks.
If you missed it last week, we talked about our overall philosophy. So we've seen that video. Standard.
Sraje.
Sraje, can ignore. Pioneer. Karn is banned. Appraiser is banned. Schmaglocopter is unbanned. We want Pioneer to provide as diverse an experience as possible. There's a place where you can have wait, do they? Because they don't let people combo, and you can say, yeah, but they let them Lotus Field, but I don't like Lotus Field, so like at the same extent. So that's what I'm saying that. It is a place where you can have fun using cards from past standard environments without content being printed directly into it or having content naturally rotate out of it content. This, our largest format, gets its content solely through the standard pipeline.
The word content is also very, very
Blah,
funny.
blah, blah. The last time we took action was in June of 2022, about 1.5 years ago. What was that announcement? Okay. Was it
Of Nisabak, I think?
Iteration Winota?
It was Iteration Winota, and I think of Nisabak, or of Nisabak was before that. It was before that.
The plan is to return to a more active role in managing Pioneer. During the year after its creation, changes to Pioneer were frequent. Moving forward, we'll be actively using our main set release, ban and restricted announcement guidance to take better care of Pioneer. Even though the metagame share and win rate of Mono Green Nyctos deck have been within a reasonable range, the deck has simply been a large component of the Pioneer metagame for most of the format's lifetime. With Karn capable of finding threats and solutions to whatever the deck encounters, it can be quite difficult to go over the top of this strategy. This causes the metagame to either try to go underneath or try ignore what it's doing with their own combo strategy, effectively bending the metagame due to its existence. The consistency and strength of the deck also makes it very difficult for various type of fair mirror strategies to exist.
I think that's all true so far.
I think that's all true, but also like
Maybe a bit overblown.
I tend to think that it's good when there is a combo deck to bully people who.
Yeah, but do you think that green is a combo deck? Like it is, but it's also a ramp deck.
In function.
It's also a ramp deck. Like it's a combo deck that like beats disruption by playing like Undying 4/4 for 3 mana.
Yeah.
So it's not really a combo deck. Like it is, of course, like, it has a combo finish, but it's like, it's a hybrid of like combo and like mid-range ramp deck.
It's also within reasonable range, by which I meant that it's been pretty shitty. But also, like, a precedent has been already set with Inverter of Truths being bullied for online effectively. Inverter of Truths was just bullied online to the point where it had to leave the format, and I think that's really sad. So in a way, the current ban saddens me a little bit, but also Inverter was actually giga cool, and Karn is also like
No, Karn is bullshit. Inverter was giga cool.
Less cool, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's also like kind of funny that they banned terrible decks, and they unbanned Copter, which is like probably very strong.
Copter is probably strong, yeah.
I don't know. Do we play like Copter in Heroic? Maybe out of the sideboard or something.
Do you play like Copter in Convoke?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense in Convoke either.
Maybe from the sideboard, like against sweepers and stuff.
Card's range is too broad, so we're gonna ban it. Introduction of the Lost Caverns of Ixalanus brought new toys to the format. Discover mechanic featured on cards such as Geological Appraiser, Carnosaurus, and Quintorius Gandus has given a rise to brand new strats that don't play any other cards, naturally costing 4 or less aside from cloning effects. When left undisturbed, these decks can produce enough creatures to win via combat. Being able to win on turn 3, creating a single treasure token puts a bit too much pressure on Fox to be a good thing for the long-term health of the format. Well, it's not clear that this is the strongest thing to be doing in Pioneer. True. Without some form of interaction, players can lose the game as early as their own second turn. That doesn't meet our long-term vision of the format. So, despite being shit, it's banned. Fair.
Yeah, also, like, I think a good point that I've heard also from Ari, because every good point basically I'm hearing about Magic ever is from Ari or
like
Ari. I'm the biggest Ari Lux machine. Yeah, I'm the biggest Ari Lux fanboy in the world. The fact that they started printing so many cards in which their properties aren't what they say they are in reality basically makes that things like mana cost doesn't really it doesn't matter anymore, because there are so many cards like Leyline Binding that cost 6 but really doesn't cost 6, or split cards that cost like 2 but really cost 6 because the others.
Bro, I was going to show you the Quintorius deck, but I already deleted it. But it's for sure plays some shitty cards, so that's just...
Sure, but it's still like the Appraiser deck was like, or even like Fire Rights and Rhinos. Like, I don't say that Fire Rights and Rhinos is an issue, but stuff like that. It's like cards, they are printing way too many cards that are not costing what they say they cost in the upper right corner, which is kind of shitty, I think.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on Quintorius decks in Pioneer. It can win as early as turn 4 after resolving solely its namesake card. But that extra turn allows opponents to set up their own game plan and prepare for the pivotal turn more successfully. We banned Schmuglocopter back in December 2019. Since then, many new sets have entered the format, and as such, the format has naturally grown in power over time. We don't unban very often, but we believe the format can absorb it successfully. Reintroducing it will create new deck-building puzzles or revive old ones and provide additional diversity. Smuggler's Copter is unbanned. Wow. Well, this is a puzzle. Like, we did just like spend 30 seconds thinking of whether I played in my heroic deck or not. If I had to guess, it's probably a better card than Angel Fire Ignition.
I don't think so. I've had Angel Fire Ignition on my in my pre-release pool. At that pre-release, it was so fucking broken. Way better than Copter would have been in that deck.
Okay.
Probably not.
When we last spoke about Modern in August, we were most concerned about new cards from Lothar, namely Orcish, Bowmasters, and D1 Ring. Excuse me, the Onion Ring. While these cards are powerful players in the metagame, another card has continued to suppress what's possible in the format even more, Fury. most often played as a 4/4 double striker that clears the opponent's board. Is it really how it was played the most?
No, the
often?
most it was a 3/3 double striking Shrikmo for 5 mana.
You think it was hardcast more often than it was pitched?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that's not true. Like overall in the format, it was. In Scam, I don't.
Rakdos Evoke has only risen in metagame share since the Modern Pro Tour this summer, and coming in right behind its 4-color, also featuring Fury. Fury is keeping several diverse and interesting strategies at bay, and for this reason Fury is banned in Modern. That is what people say. I don't know about that, maybe? I don't know. Oftentimes I had Fury in my deck and it felt kind of shitty, but also maybe I don't know. Maybe it does keep things at bay. It certainly is not gonna keep my Amulet deck at bay, and that's like the only thing I'm gonna be playing
No, I think that the argument about like Fury keeping things in check is way overblown with like Ren and Bowmasters and even stuff like Lava Dart. Like X1s are still unplayable, like in large quantities, the same way they were before.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what decks are.
I've seen you had a very interesting deck here.
It's outdated.
Wow, this deck is so good. Oh no, this deck is shitty. That's not the deck I wanted to see to show you. I thought it was the Narset deck.
Fury was suppressing all tribal decks. Says definitely not an ounce. Okay. To which I can respond with that.
No, Fury wasn't suppressing it more than like other cards like Bowmasters or Dart or Ren and
Yes, let's see. Removing Fury will impact both the play rate and win rate of Rakdos Evoke. Players are currently using 4 or more copies of Undying effects like to rebuy Grief or Fury. Without Fury, the opportunity cost of playing so many Undying effects increases, reducing consistency in deck and becoming a real cost to include. That's true. It's possible these decks begin to transform into wide versions that utilize Solitude and other ephemerate. However, a Rebought Solitude is not as threatening as a 4/4 with Double Strike and provides the deck less coverage against the metagame. Yeah. Rebuying Solitude actually unkills your opponent, so it's just horrible.
Yeah.
We believe that the removal of Fury will widen the format, allowing players to explore additional strategies, especially with low toughness creatures. Okay. No, okay, bros. Well,
no, that's just not true. That's just coping, I think.
I think they don't like. Do you think Dan believes that, or do you think Dan wrote that because it sounds nice?
Zoom on his face. Zoom on his face. I don't think so. I don't think he believes that. I don't think that Dan believes that's true.
Yeah, it sounds not true. The removal of Fury will widen. Finally, fewer overall Rakdos Evoke decks in the metagame will also likely reduce the total number of Grief and Orcish Bowmasters players will encounter. It also, like, to me, it continuously didn't feel like Scam was, like, all that strong. But it also, like, it did have a really high play rate, and I guess it also had a pretty high win rate because it did show up, so...
Yes, Scam was all good cards, and also some broken starts. It was basically a Jan deck when Jan was good, but it had like 20% chance to have a 70% chance to win the game. Basically, with the like turn 1 Fury. I actually wanted to for one of my articles recently, I wanted to actually calculate the percentage of getting turn 1 Grief. But it was way too complicated to do that because it was like multivariate, hyper geometric.
Based on most of my matches against Scam, it's a very high percentage. Ha ha ha! Get it? Because I'm unlucky and they always have it.
Yes, but like if you're willing to mull to 6 every single time you don't have it, I was trying to count it, but just simulate it. I'm not able to do that because I'm stupid.
Yeah, so I don't know, like gut feeling 30%.
Yeah, it was basically if you put if you go into calculator and you put like you take the percentage of having one Fury and at least one Fury, and the percentage of having at least one Undying spell, and you multiply it. It's the ceiling of what could it be, and I think it's in the range of like 25-30%, something like that. That's the ceiling, I think.
So a bit less. Okay.
Yeah.
So finally, fewer Rakdos Evoke will mean less Grief and Orcish. Players will encounter.
Yeah.
So it is a band that is like based around.
Yeah, it is about 80%, 18% with 21 lands. Yeah, that's what I would guess. I would guess like slightly below 20.
Yeah, so they just want players to encounter less Grief and Orcish Bowmasters, because when they encounter more varied cards, then they're gonna be happier. Which seems true for the most part. Up the Beanstalk is one of Modern's newest inclusions, subsidizing. But this word is so weird in like Magic context.
I don't think so.
Many cards in the format that cost 5 or more mana. However, it is rare for a player to pay anywhere too close to 5 mana to cast the cards they are using without the Beanstalk. True.
I think the word subsidizing is not weird for me because Relax uses it a lot.
Assuredly.
Because he's so smart.
While removing Fury will certainly impact the usage of beans, we don't believe that to be enough. It is remarkably difficult to interact with the 2-mana enchantment profitably, as the card replaces itself immediately, with players often playing a free spell on the same turn since they get such a great return of the deal. It is particularly telling when players have concluded that cascading into Up the Beanstalk is more blah 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 than Crushing Football Soul Living End. For these reasons, Up the Beanstalk is banned in Modern. Alright. Subscribe-tizing. Yeah,
there is more Ari
my
simping.
speed.
There is more Ari simping than I expected when I tuned in. Yes, of course.
This is more my speed. Subscribe designing.
Cześć Misiek.
Legacy. When making, I'm a legacy gamer now. After I also like have a new build of the Reanimator from yesterday. It's called Reanimator Wastelands. I added 4 Wastelands to the sideboard.
Do you think you are basically the same person as Skura now when you called your deck Reanimator?
I think it's a funny name.
Surely Skura thinks that calling his deck Skuwu Control is
Skuwu Control. Skóweczka.
Skóra Merchtide.
But you don't get it. I'm gonna Wasteland everyone so hard post board, and I'm gonna go like turn 1 Wasteland, cycle Troll of Khazad Doom.
Okay. Quick troll check, free trolls. Quick swamp check, free swamps. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
2 Badlands, you can fetch them too, but you don't want to because you want to play around, stuff. Also, I'm gonna go turn 1 Swamp and turn 2 Wasteland, and I'm gonna curse at my Duffy Voidwalker.
Okay, so basically, yeah, I saw some people in chat, mostly Da Vinci, being concerned about Yawgmoth Winter that is coming right now with Fury getting banned. I don't think it's necessarily true. I think that's a very surface level reaction in terms of 2 Furies is good. Like double Fury is good against Yawgmoth, sure, but I don't think that getting like this single card arguments is as important as like game plan or archetype arguments. And I think Scam might have suppressed many decks that are naturally good against Yawgmoth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know which decks those are, but that might be true. That Scam just made it so decks that are naturally suited to be the Yawgmoth were a bit lower because of that.
Well, I guess Yawgmoth with this.
Tron maybe. I think Tron, like those are like deck like Tron is probably like Tron Yawgmoth seems like a die roll matchup to me, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly to Amulet, I guess. Also seems like a die roll matchup to me.
Yeah, it's a
I-
bit awkward. Sometimes I feel
Yeah.
like I can win, but oftentimes I feel like I can lose. Now I have 2 curse totems in my sideboard ready, so it's more on the I can't lose side, but there's exactly 2 of them, so they're just waiting to get
Force of
Force
Vigor.
of Vigor together.
Yeah, Fulminator and Cauldron are dirty, that's true.
One thing that was absent with Scam, like subsidizing so much of, let's say, like Ragavan mid-range metagame was Merktide Regent, right? Blue-red.
Yep.
Uh,
I think
It used to
Merktide...
be really popular.
I-
I for one, from like my point of view with Titan, was really happy that Scam was like the popular deck and not Merktide, because it's so much easier to beat black cards with this than it is to beat blue cards.
Yeah, I think that Merktide's downfall was mostly due to Up the Beanstalk, because you just couldn't compete in a game that lasted longer than like 5 or 6 turn against like 4 color now. With Ring, you could have like maneuver around with spell pierce around 1 ring, and you had to counter just 1 rings. But Beanstalk is just impossible to get under, and it was super hard to win against Beanstalk as Merktide.
That's true. That was my feeling too from
Yeah.
the few times I played that matchup.
Yeah, I think
Beans side.
Yeah, I think non-Beanstalk 4 color is maneuverable for Merktide. I think you can zig and zag the way that let you like pull ahead, and you basically like what you always were doing with Merktide was getting this one turn when you could play Merktide Regent and hold up counterspell for their big thing, or you even like counter something, then deploy Merktide with backup when they are tapped out, and you can't do that against Beanstalk because it's just too cheap. Isn't Yawgmoth also tough for Merktide? I think Soul Cauldron is a very problematic card to deal with. Before Soul Cauldron, I liked the matchup for Merktide. Now I haven't played it that much because...
I'll just play 2 cast totems, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, if you probably if you have like a prepared version of the deck against Yawgmoth, like they won't board Force of Vigor against Curse Totem out of Merktide. Or maybe they will, and they will lose because of that. Fairly often. But yeah. Yep, I think that those changes are okay. I like them.
Alright, let's ask chat. Chat, are you excited to play Pioneer and Modern now, after they've been utterly changed? No.
Oh, heck yes, Mr. Streamer. That's what you like to see.
Yes, Bamzing. Let's go. New formats.
Yes, I marry you. Which one of us? John.
No Mary, no, no John, sir.
No Mary, only Maria.
Yes. Also, for the Modern RC, I'm playing Titan, I guess.
Oh, at me, Anzi. Hello, Anzi. Is this a buff for blue-white, in my opinion?
No, because I had a good matchup against...
I didn't like my Beanstalk matchups after the for Commandeer version becomes popular. I didn't like to play that matchup. I liked my Scam matchup. I don't know. I will still probably play blue-white next week in Barcelona. If I don't play blue-white, I will play Merktide. I might. I don't know. We'll see. Are we done?
I think that's it. I think that's all that there was to be said. Chat, do you have any good questions to finish this stream?
Where can you find my blue-white list? You can find it.
Question.
Great question. You can find it at www.mystical-teachings.com, which is Sodex and mine website. Or on my Twitter, it's TSPJendrek. You can find all the lists or all the links there. What's my favorite Mariah song? What's your favorite Mariah song, John?
Are we family?
Are we family? No.
Is Scam still the best deck?
Definitely not.
No. Do I pivot to coffers? No. You do
Definitely
you,
no.
You do you, bro.
Phenomenal control player.
You do you. Does this announcement make Baron unplayable now? Okay, probably.
It's probably
Just-
worse position than it was,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess Baron wasn't unplayable. Like every time I played with Beans against Baron, I cursed, but space. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's worse.
my favorite Mariah song, John Star, is I Will Always Love You. Because it's Whitney Houston song.
I see. How does
Uh,
4-color look now? You put rings in it. Like, it's just there were beanless lists,
yeah.
Fury-less lists. You can just like play the same.
Yeah. We are not one Hydra and I don't usually hide, but I visit this apartment quite regularly.
Yep.
Um,
Curious to see if Black Red is still good despite Fury ban. Yeah, I'll be interested too. Like, no reason for some form of Black Red midrange not to exist. Because
yeah, those cards are so strong.
still strong cards,
Yeah, it's
right?
like
In what form exactly, I don't know yet.
Ragavan, Bowmasters, and Fable is still a very good curve. Like Fotsies or whatever. Yeah. Sure. And I guess we'll see you again in the same configuration on March 11. If Canister invites me again.
Sure. Sign a victim to
Or if I will invite myself again like I did today.
Spearing Spike playing L. I see Lanor L.
Fuck no.
Gab playing.
Let's raid yellow what.
Announcement today, Doomwake, Modern with Druid Cauldron.
I press F5 on the banned list for you. That's a very based stream title, I think.
Let's raid Bag Nasif.
Yellow what?
See you tomorrow, chat. I'll play the noon Modern Prelem
Do zobaczenia widzowie.
with Amulet.